Okay, Saturday, 21st of March 2026. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Being a perma-bull, or being bull-tarded on Bitcoin. So, I think this kind of emerges, this kind of behaviour, perma-bull and all that, from being a bit of an optimist in one way, but also from understanding Bitcoin's first principles and the direction. Because as a principle, when in doubt, zoom out. As though to say, there's nothing but adoption with Bitcoin, on the grand scheme of things. There is no bull and bear market, in the truest of sense. It's that scene from The Matrix where the kid goes to Neo. Oh, see the truth. There is no spoon. It's that. There is no bull market. There's no bear market. Only adoption. And by by understanding those things, you become, or more likely to be, especially with the optimistic kind of attitude, a perma-bull or bulltard. But there's a subtle difference between the two. To say everything is good for Bitcoin. Ooh, quite a statement. Every road leads to Bitcoin. Everything's good for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's inevitable. Strong statement, and that's where the bullish nature comes from. To say everything's a blip. We know the direction. The time and when is a different question and a bit irrelevant, but we know where it's going, and everything until then is a speed bump. And that's where that bullishness comes from. To say everything today, the day-to-day stuff is just noise, irrelevant. We know the direction. Even, today's on discount, today's on sale, let's buy. And I think that idea, those are the first principles that help feed that idea of being a bullish and perma-bull, but also the idea of being an optimist in life. Yeah, glass half full kind of attitude, meaning optimistic, things get better. I've done some videos about this in the past, talking about the future of mankind. Things get better, things improve all the time. The world and civilization improves and gets better, and whatever else. All this gets better over time. It's just human nature, really, fundamentally. So we can expand that to Bitcoin and say, well, things get better, and therefore we say all roads lead to Bitcoin because the incentives, the pains, the constraints, the technology, everyone comes to Bitcoin in their own way, in their own journey, in their own time. And that meme, to say you get the price you deserve, is quite poignant. And to say all roads lead to Bitcoin is very on point. Again, it's incentive. The incentives, pains, constraints. Everyone has these different things. They come to the awareness in their own way. But we can go even deeper to say, well, the way the world is going now, with the infrastructure that's being built, Bitcoin is being played out via hyper-Bitcoinization, and Bitcoin adoption is being played out via hyper-Bitcoinization. So you'll be using and utilizing Bitcoin, whether you realize it or not, whether you understand it or not, in the same way we utilize electricity or the internal combustion engine, whether you realize it or not, and whether you understand it or not. It's being used, it's being adopted. And then you can say, right, well, what is the subtle difference between perma-bull and bulltard? Okay, simple, really. Perma-bull is perpetual. In the name, permanent, perpetual, always optimistic towards the future with Bitcoin, what's happening, adoption, technology, infrastructure, plumbing, incentives, etc., etc. And bulltard is in spite, is bull and retard, combining the two to say, in spite of the short-term pain or the noise, the videos, trends, topics, etc., you're maintaining that level of bullishness, no matter what the short-term market says or what people are posting about online, in spite of that, being oblivious to it. And that's quite powerful in life, that kind of blind stubbornness, that stubbornness that comes, that resilience, that consistency that emerges from being oblivious is an interesting, poignant strength in a way. It's interesting. It lacks the scalability, but it's quite an interesting little thing, but that's a whole other conversation. So, very subtle. So really, the fundamental thing to understand is everything is good for Bitcoin in its own way. In its own way. Everyone comes to Bitcoin whether they realise it or not. Like in the same way everyone, quite poetic actually, in the same way everyone comes to God. Wow, that's quite a statement. Interesting. Fair enough. In their own way, we could say. Interesting, nice and poetic. But nonetheless, there is only adoption. There are no bull and bear markets. When you look at the price of Bitcoin over the past 15, 16 years, when in doubt, zoom out, especially the logarithmic chart, the pattern and trend becomes blindingly clear the further out into the past you go. I did a video a month or 2 or 3 ago talking about Bitcoin, 1,000 charts screaming at you. Dollar, pound, euro, zloty, Argentine peso, Chinese yuan, Russian ruble, Indian rupee. All of those have the exact same pattern, the exact same trend. Everything goes to zero against Bitcoin. Everything. Meaning one day Bitcoin could buy, mathematically speaking, this entire village. All the houses here, it could one day purchase. Now, granted, that's a decade or 2 or 3 away, but the maths is right there. There are no bull and bear markets. There's only adoption. Every single day, the network gets stronger by about $40, $50 worth of strength. Compound that over, 15, 16 years now, what do you get? Give it 15, 16 more years, what other things are you going to get? Powerful stuff. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.